Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redux, and today we are going to be bringing you part 2 of What If Natsu was in Black Clover. Now, I know what you guys thinking, like, dang, he going crazy with these what ifs, kinda, sorta, not really, but still posting. Yeah, I'm still posting, man. But I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all for all the views that's been running up so far on this series. I'm thankful for how many views I get. I really ain't expect this. That shit gets like 100 views already. Shit, we in business, because I really don't be seeing people post what if Natsu was in Black Clover. I really don't be seeing Natsu what ifs at all. In fact, well, part of the occasional what if Asta had Natsu's abilities and all that other good stuff, but so far, no, I really don't be seeing anything of this sort at all, actually, which is kind of surprising. But without any further ado, man, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. After this, I think I might record What If Miles was in Spectacular Spider-Man. I think we on episode 3? No. We're on episode 4. Yeah, we're on episode 4. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Let me know what y'all think about this series so far. What guild should Natsu be in? Because I was really thinking about being in the Black Bulls. Honestly, I really like. If we're being real, I can't see Natsu in another guild besides the Black Bulls. If we're being real, I mean the Fire Mage Guild, whatever that dude's name is, sure, yeah, but for the most part, I really can't see Natsu in any other guild besides Black Bulls, because I feel like the Black Bulls actually makes fits Natsu's perfect personality well, and it complements him well. So without any further ado, we finna get into this what if, and before we start, I'm gonna get this new intro here so I don't get copyrighted for these intros. I'm tired of getting copyrighted for intros, man. Like, yeah, sure, I use the music, but it's fair time use. You be seeing all these edits that be using the freak out of these motherfucking they be using the freak out of these songs. But when I do like a 15-second edit that takes hours to actually edit, oh, I get the crucifix. They coming down on me hard. I get my shit gets copyrighted. I don't get as much views as I should, because when I first uploaded that Gotta High School XD, what if that shit went crazy? But you know what, all ends well. So without any further ado, this is going to be What If Natsu Was in Black Clover part 2, and I hope y'all enjoy this what if. And without any further ado, let's begin. Evil
Why would I lie? I got a stick, I don't wanna fight. And this bitch wanna feel me, I said alright. Cause I got a lot of shit on my mind. I got 80 bitches, I cannot walk. I feel a little boat, I just want the night. That nigga is broke, I'm buying his love, hey.
Now, if you remember where we left off, we're picking up things after episode 1, where we just flash back to after they made the promise of what they were gonna become when they get stronger. We flash back. Honestly, I'm just gonna skip the flashback. We already know what happened in the flashback. Asta got his necklace taken. Asta never gave up. But this time we're gonna say Natsu came in there, and that's when he unlocked his fire dragon roar ability and burnt the motherfucking shit out of that nigga for stealing his necklace and for beating up his brother, right? So yeah, we're past that. We're just gonna continue where we left off. Pretty much all the other stuff that really matters. So I guess we could just say that we're going to episode 3 now, since that's pretty much what episode 2 consisted of. But we're gonna say that, for plot's sake, we're gonna say that we're gonna do like 8 months training. We're gonna not speed it up, but slow it down and give them time to actually train. So Asta's getting the hang of his new magic sword. He now realizes that it's like a anti-magic sword, but he doesn't know that he could deflect magic with it. Not yet. So he knows he could slice through it. And Asta, not Asta, trains by himself. He's training by himself, training his wind magic, cutting things. As he says that he's gonna be the best rival that Asta and Natsu had, but he's really more worried about Natsu since he keeps replaying how strong Natsu was with his fire dragon roar, and how he felt like the simmering heat that was coming off of it after he was helping him get his grimoire back, right? So that's what really pushes to train even harder. And since Asta and spar a lot, which what is it? What I'm trying to say? Which Natsu pretty much wins due to his dragon strength. Like I said, Asta's more stronger and has a better physicality stats due to Natsu being in his story. So everything is a little better. That goes for too, since starts to spar with Natsu as well. That's when starts to get a little bit, get a little toned. He get a little toned. He got the toneness going on. Still, like, he not like skinny how he was in the first time, right? So they're basically training for this event, training for the magical night exam, and we're coming to the point where they both are like going to cannon. Asta hitting the tree, striking the tree with his sword, counting how many times, training with his wind magic and his wind slices. And then we see Natsu meditating with this fire aura as he's trying to perfect, well, not perfect, but trying to think what I'm trying to say. He's trying to perfect his magic so he can have like deeper reserves, so he can use the big moves that he has without expending his magical reserve so quick. So he's been constantly using Fire Dragon Iron Kick, Fire Dragon Punch, Fire Dragon and Fire Dragon Roar for right now. So he's training, basically all of Natsu's moves that y'all know: Fire Dragon Roar, Fire Dragon Iron Fist, Fire Dragon Wing Attack. You might as well just call that. Well, it's really not Fire Dragon Iron Kick. That's more like Fire Dragon Wing Attack is where he like swings his arms and it's like a flame arc that he releases, right? So, and then we got Fire Dragon Dive when he ignites his body and then, smashes into enemies or just headbutts you. Fire Dragon Roar Dragon Force, where he channels all his Dragon Slayer magic and puts out like a immense, Fire Dragon. That's like his full power. So he's tapping into that, but he doesn't know what. He basically calls that mode his Dragon Fire mode, is where he like uses his Dragon Fire and coats it around him. So it's like a immense flaming aura that he has around him, basically. So with that being said, he's basically just practicing the basics, and that's when he used Fire Dragon Force Roar, where it basically turned, how his flame is like a yellow orange, right? Now, instead of it being like the basic one, it's more of like white outlines and like a deep, not a deep, but it's like a bright orange, which means it's getting hotter. So that's one of his ultimate attacks, as he's currently in like a lake that he decided to train in to, like, even though his flames are extinguishing, he wants to get to the point where he could keep his flames going while he's in the water. So it basically forces him to like exert himself so he could further his magic reserves, right? And then that's when Natsu uses his fire and gives himself like a jet propulsion out the water, right? So he gets out the water. As he shoots up into the air, that's when he was like, I think I got it now. And then that's when he was like, he breathed in as you see this fire aura around him, as he says, fire dragon, brilliant flame, explosion. And then that's when he takes all the heat, combines it in his hand, and then smashes his fist together and aims it down, as you just see like this whole explosion just shoot down. And then just this whole, it's basically like, think of it like a nuke, but just a fiery flame just shooting up. And this covers like a huge AoE. It's like an area of effect attack, basically. You already know how Natsu's fire dragon brilliant flame looks. So he is able to use that move not consecutively. Let's say he could use it 3 times before he has to, calm it down a little bit and recharge before he can use it again. So that's when, as he uses fire dragon brilliant flame, we'll say the surrounding area shakes, and it's like an intense heat wave. As Yuno and Asta both look back and feel the heat, and they're like, what is that? They both say, like, in their head, like, that damn Natsu, what crazy move has he come up with now? And so that's when they go harder in their training, and that's when the end of the day comes, right? So after that, pretty much everything goes to canon, where they basically go back to the house, and Asta is saying that he's still gonna become Wizard King, as him and walk by side by side. Well, they didn't walk by side by side. Asta was running back because he wanted to get there before and then that's when started running, pretty much how it went in canon in episode 2, where they were both running towards each other trying to race. And then that's when in a far distance, that's when Natsu used his enhanced vision, as he sees and Asta running to the church, basically racing. And then that's when he was like, perfect, I could test my new move out. He was like, even though this might burn through my energy, it's better late. He said it's better late than never to show out. And then that's when he gets into like this like racing position, as he gets down, hands touching the ground, and as he steadies himself in the dirt. That's when he was like, he breathes in, and then that's when he exhales fire, as he says, Dragon Mode, Stage 1. And then that's when you see like this subtle heat around Natsu, like this slow, like subtle flaming aura around Natsu, as that's when he looks, and then that's when he takes off. And then as he takes off, it's just like, we're gonna throw some impact frames as he takes off, the geometrical cubes that just, fly, pretty much. And so you see this man streaking down as he's leaving like a flame trail, just streaking down, just as he's just running. And then that's when they both look behind him. They both look behind themselves, right? And then that's when they see Natsu, as he was like, go, go, go. They both started running, even at like running faster, as fast as they possibly could, right? But it was too late. Natsu came in, just blew the doors off the fence. And then that's when he stopped at the last second. And he was like, you ladies arguing about who's faster. You haven't even looked behind you who was coming. He was like, and it looks like I'm the one that wins. And then that's when Asta was like, okay, but let's see who gets inside the church first. That really showed who the winner is. And as Natsu was about to go, stopped both Natsu and Asta, as he threw both of them up. And then that's when was like, that will make me the winner. And then that's when Natsu lands on his feet. And then that's when he was like, so somebody thinks they're funny, huh? And then that's when he puts his fire. That's when he lights his fist up. And then that's when he was like, he's like, let me show you what I've been practicing. Fire dragon, brilliant. And then that's when Sister Lily put his fire out, as she uses her holy water to punch Natsu. and saying that he won't be burning down the church again. And then that's when he was like, all right, fine, I'm sorry, sister. He's like, just don't take my extra fish for this. And then that's when she was like, I would never starve my children. And pretty much everything goes to canon with father saying that is gonna be their star. And then that's when Natsu decided to speak up and saying that, hey, what about me and Asta? He was like, yeah, has fancy wind magic, but me on the other hand, I have fire, I have dragon magic. And then that's when father was like, what is up with you and these dragons? Like, were you raised by one? He was like, I don't know. He was like, but I think, he's like, I don't know, but I have read and seen some pictures about how dragons used to roam this land. So maybe that's where my magic comes from. He's like, but other than that, father, when I become Wizard King, he said, no. He's like, no, when I become better than a Wizard King, if I see you disrespect Asta for becoming Wizard King, I'm going to light your butt on fire. And he was like, and I'm not talking about medium rare. I will make sure you are charred. And then that's when father was like, okay, you got it, you have it, Natsu. He was like, Asta, you will become an amazing magic knight. And then that's when he was like, as for you, Natsu, last time I checked, you're afraid of snakes, aren't you? And then that's when he's really not afraid of snakes. He's afraid of earthworms, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, Natsu and earthworms do not get along. And then that's when he was like, how do you like this? And he was like, get it away. And he was like, so you think you could just disrespect your old man, huh? He was like, I was just playing. It wasn't even like that. And then that's when, they had a good family bonding time that night, running around, eating, all that other good stuff. And then that's when, come the day after, that's when they leave. That's when they pretty much leave for the city, as they were, as they basically, packed everything up. Sister gave them some money. She tried to give them all money, which giving Natsu the most money, as Natsu was like, I don't want your money. He was like, I appreciate the kind offer, sister, but save some for the church. I know winter will be coming soon, so please, it's okay. Asta and have enough, and I'm pretty sure it's enough for me as well. And if it isn't, I'll make sure it is. But I appreciate your kind offer, Sister Lily. And then that's when Asta was like, you better not be putting the moves on my woman. And then Natsu was like, I don't want Sister Lily, okay? I want somebody who could, match me. Or better yet, put this handsome beast down. Maybe tame me. He was like, or something like that. That's what I always hear father say. So I guess I'll go with what he likes, I guess, whenever I see it. And so that's when kind of smirked and started laughing, because Asta's naturally funny. Not Asta, Natsu is naturally funny. But yeah, that's pretty much what goes on in canon. And then they head off to the capital. I don't really know what the capital's called. I was kind of speed watching Black Clover, so I pretty got the main chunk bits of what's going on right now. So they make it to the capital, and that's when that's when Natsu was like, I have a question. And then that's when they both looked at him. He was like, so how am I supposed to get in without a grimoire? And that's when they both looked at each other. Natsu, looked at Asta. Asta looked at and then Natsu looked at them both with his eyes going separate ways. He's like, well, just don't look at me like an idiot. Let's figure something out. And then that's when was like, right. He was like, I do have a spare book. Maybe we could take a sticker or something to make it look like a grimoire. And then that's when Natsu was like, Yeah, that should work perfectly fine. And then that's when that's basically when he was like, okay, let's try it like this. And so that's when they both tried to that's when they patched up, they made like a quick sketch, like a quick cheap book that looks like a grimoire, quote unquote. But um yeah, they pretty much improvised that idea. So after they improvised the idea, right, they basically go to the entrance where they register, and they had to make sure it was a real grimoire. And then that's when it was Natsu's turn. Asta already went, Yuna already went, so now it's Natsu's turn to get inside. So they both get inside as Natsu was like, he was like, Natsu Dragneel. And then that's when they both, the receptionist looked at him kind of weird as he was like, okay. And he was like, what is your magic? He said, Dragon Slayer magic. And he was like, Dragon Slayer magic? There hasn't been any dragons around here. He was like, are you sure you're not pulling my leg, kid? He was like, I'm for real. Dragon Slayer magic. And he was like, we don't have Dragon Slayer magic. He was like, well, just put down fire magic, okay? Fire magic. Yeah. And then that's when he was like, okay. And then that's when he got in. I don't know how he got in, but somehow he got in. So after getting in, they basically were placed, and the entrance happened as the captain showed up with Captain Yami pulling up to Asta in a cannon, as he called him, an old man. And then that's when he was grabbing his head. And then that's when Asta tried to use his strength, but since he's a little bit more stronger due to Natsu being in the story, right? That's when Yami started feeling a little pushback as his grip started loosening. He was like, you're a pretty strong kid. He was like, you're a pretty strong kid for your age, huh? And then that's when Natsu walked up, and he was like, hey, let my brother go. And he was like, and yeah, and if I don't, what are you gonna do about it? And then that's when Natsu was like, then things just might heat up in here. And then that's when it was like a wave of heat, like invisible heat, as Natsu was flaring his magic subtly. He was like, I don't care if you're a captain, wizard king, king of all wizards, doesn't matter to me. But if you, that's when he said, but if you try to pick on my brother or hurt my brother in any way, I don't care how strong you are, I will fight you. And even if I might lose, you won't walk away so easily. And then that's when Yami was like, I like you, kid. You got guts and you got heart. He was like, maybe after this, if you impress me, I might just let you get into Black Bulls. And then that's when he was like, anyway, I'm done now. Everybody else is here, so let's go. So, all the everything goes to canon pretty much how it usually went to, right? Everybody is basically everybody pulls up. Black Bulls pulled up. You already know who the captain is. Yami, Golden Dawn, William, Vengeance. Sounds like Vengeance. The Silver Eagles, Crimson Lion, Blue Rose, Green Mantis, Crow Peacock, Purple Orca, and Azure Deer. All of them pull up. So they basically pull up. Everybody pulls up, and surprisingly, the all girls what is it, knights wanted Natsu for some odd reason. But no, it's not gonna be one of these it's not gonna be one of these what ifs. It's not gonna be like a crazy harem what if. Calm down now. But so basically the test begins as in canon, where where they do the broom test, and then that's when they do the broom test, and everybody was flying. Some people couldn't fly, some people could fly but couldn't keep their balance. The main objective was to get the broom off the ground, and then that's when Natsu had some issues, because since Natsu's magic is different from everybody else, it couldn't properly translate to this world yet. So that's when Asta and Natsu were both on the ground, and they were like, as the dude that was basically the dude that was like, giving Asta pointers and trying to be nice, but the whole time he was fake. He was like, just lift and, don't try to force it. Pretty much what he said in canon, right? So that's when Natsu was like, I had it with this broom. And then that's when he uses his fire magic to burn the broom, right? He burnt the broom, and everybody started gasping. And he was like, let's do this dragon style. And then that's when he used his feet to start flying, right? He used his feet to start flying. And then that's when he grabbed Asta. He's like, Asta, grab my hand, as he started flying around. And then that's when Asta grabbed his hand, and then that's when Natsu threw him high in the sky. And then that's when Asta was like, yeah, I'm up. And then that's when he was, as he was still going up, that's when he started coming down. He was like, wait, I can't go down. And then that's when gently put him down on the ground. And then the next test was pretty sure the next test was like destruction wise, like magical projection, pretty much every other test that was going to canon. And Natsu and past that were pretty flying colors, with Natsu damn near exploding everything. And then that's when it was a magic evolution and all this other stuff, with Natsu doing the signature come on, as he used his fingers to say come on. Yeah, you already know what I'm talking about. So, and Asta pretty much not passing anything. But here's what we all been waiting for: the combat trials, right? And so you already know what happens in the combat trials. So that's when went first, and he went against the noble, as the noble was talking heavy shit, talking about you're just a mongrel coming from a commoner village. A commoner should know their place. And pretty much the judicial racism that was going on in Black Clover. Because let's call it what it was. They was low-key being racist, because you was a commoner, they was finna talk heavy shit. So that's basically what happened. And that's when the proctor said begin. And they basically summoned lightning. I think he was like a lightning user, I believe. And then that's when used his wind magic to overcome his lightning. And that's when that's basically what the noble that lost to got clapped, bro. He was done for. And then that's when Asta was next, as he fought the dude that could like use construction magic, and he made like this defensive magic, trying to impress the 9 captains, the 9 good captains, right? But Asta, due to him training with Natsu, training with fighting Natsu, and wrestling, he is way stronger and way faster than his counterpart. So he basically speed blitzed the mess out of this dude. He didn't even see it coming, for real. And as he was doing that, we pretty much see Noelle in the background wanting to join, wanting to do the test, but her brother stops him, as he was like, "What are you doing?" And she was about to protest that she wanted to do the test, but he said that no noble person doesn't have to do the test. They could go to whatever guild they want to go to. And then that's when he was let's make him a little bit more douchey. He called her all this other stuff, useless, how he is ashamed to have her as a sister. And then she was trying to go, but he wasn't having it. So he was about to, give her the backhand of doom to put her in her place. And that's when Natsu stepped in and he was like, I don't know what's going on here, but if you call yourself a brother wouldn't hit her sister or say those things to her like that. And then that's when he was like, do you not know who I am? He was like, and then that's when Natsu said, I don't give a damn if you were a wizard god. Don't ever lay a hand on her again. That is your sister. And don't ever talk down to your sister, because if I hear it, then you'll be dealing with me personally. And then that's when the noble said, either you're rather very brave, stupid, or both. He was like, this isn't over, because when the time comes, we will meet again. And then that's when he walks away. And then that's when Noelle looks at Natsu with awe, and yet looking down on him too, because she could tell that he's a commoner. And that's when Natsu said that if she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't have to, but just don't let her brother pick on her like that. And then that's when Natsu left, as he got called to fight a noble that uses fire. So you already pretty much how it went down with that. So he uses like this firebolt, and Natsu, before the battle started, Natsu was talking. He was like, the noble was talking heavy. He was like a commoner with pink hair. He was one of those pretty boy nobles that the girls were falling for, right? So they were both trying to, the ladies were both arguing, because they was like, even some of the noble girls was like, ooh, for a commoner, he looks very sturdy, because you got to peep the physique Natsu had, man. Come on, man, don't play with Natsu like that. But he was the noble was talking heavy shit, just straight out the mouth, bro, like straight out the mouth. So he was like, well, if it isn't a commoner, he was like, you disgrace. He was like, even standing in the same ring as you, you're dimming my light, my beauty. He was like, but I have a flame that can purge your beauty. He said, purge the stain that you walk with this arena. Basically saying that he's about to, burn him to a crisp. And then that's when he was like, take this. And then that's when he opened his grimoire as blue flames came out. He was like, basically what he was saying, he was like, and then, what, I'm trying to figure it out. Work with me. Okay, so basically he was saying that his magic is passed down from generations to generation, as the flame only gets brighter and hotter with each generation, with it being passed down to, right? So he basically shot 2 fireballs at Natsu, which Natsu, before they even started fighting, right? That's when Natsu was like, all this talk from a commoner. He said, not commoner, from a noble. He was like, for being a noble, you guys sure don't know how to shut the hell up. And then that's when some people were laughing. Other people was like, oh, he talked to a noble that way? Because Natsu don't care. So he was like, just bring it on. I don't have time for this. I'm ready to fight. And then he was like, commoners always ready to use their brawn over brain. And then that's when he shoots like 2 huge blue fireballs. And that's when Natsu looked at him with interest. He was like, I wonder if this will hurt. And then that's when Natsu used like his flame aura, as it was a huge explosion. And everybody was like, he just stood there. He even tried to defend against it. He was like, and they were basically saying that I don't think he survived that attack, this and that. And all the nobles were making fun of him. And some of the girls were like, oh no. And, pretty much the whole 9. And then as the smoke cleared, that's when Natsu wiped his hand, and the smoke was like, spread out. And then that's when Natsu was like, "Is that all you had?" He was like, even with Yuno's wind magic could put me on the ground and have me staggered a bit, but it was nothing. He was like, that felt more like a hot tub, actually. And then he was like, "How dare you?" And then that's when he projected like a huge dragon mouth as it shot a huge blue flame. And then that's when Natsu was like, a dragon? He was like, that's a poor imitation of a dragon. And then that's when Natsu was like, let me show you what a real dragon can do. And then that's when he opened his mouth and sucked the magic. Pause. You know what? Yeah. he basically absorbed the magic. He basically ate the magic as he created like a wind vacuum, as all the blue magic that he just got sucked up. You already know what I mean. There ain't even no reason to say pause or nothing, bro. If you thinking like that, your mind is dirty. Get your head out the gutter. So basically, after he absorbed it, that's when you see like this bluish orange aura around Natsu, as the blue gets overtaken by the orange, and then it gets brighter. And that's when he was like, and then as he exhaled, like it was like a bluish orange flame that came out, and he was like, now I'm all fired up. And then he was like, I'll show you what a real dragon roar is. And then that's when the guy decided to go again, but use all his magic that he had. And then that's when they both yelled, as Natsu was like, fire dragon, brilliant flame roar. Yeah, I'm gonna be customizing these moves. So that's basically a stronger version of the fire dragon roar. So we got 3 stages. We got the fire dragon roar, which is the basic, still effective though. And then we got the fire dragon and brilliant flame roar, right? And then we got the fire dragon Force brilliant flame roar, which is like the top tier, which would like drain all his energy. If he uses that one twice, then yeah, he gotta use the basic in the back burners for a little while before he can use that one again. So basically, as he used that one, you see like this bluish orange flame, like a blue flame with orange outsides of it, and then you see like some trickles of white. So when I tell you that flame is hot, there had to be ice wizards on standby to basically block that attack. They had to block that attack because the heat was so hot it could kill other bystanders, right? So they had to block that attack. And then we had the other water mage, Noel's brother. I think he's a water mage as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. So he had to, use some of his magic to keep that fire contained as well. So as they collided, Natsu's flame overtook his, obviously. And then it was just like the last thing that noble saw was that jet stream of fire coming. But as it was coming, it turned into like a true dragon. Like he saw a true dragon face that roared at him. And then that's when he looked and he was like, yeah, I'm cooked. And then that's when they intervened with this huge explosion that got minimized, as well as the Crimson Lion captain was like, I never felt such a potent fire like that. And even with the attack extinguished and everything blocking it, he could still feel the heat simmering off of that, even though some of the ice wizards use like flash freezing magic. The fact that it's still melting after the attack dissipated is some heat and some fire. And then that's when the smoke clears and the dude was down for the count. And then that's when all the ladies started fawning over Natsu, including the noble women. And then that's when Natsu gave a thumbs up, and he was like, he gave a thumbs down. He gave a thumbs down, right? And then that's when the letters said, you suck, came. He was like, next, boring. And then that's when that's when all the ladies started falling for him, and then that's when the results came in, and got into the Golden Dawns. Pretty much everything goes to canon with that. Yami said that Yami had his talk with Natsu, saying that, not Natsu, but Asta, saying that the Wizard King, wanting to become a Wizard King is no joke and all that other stuff. And then he has the same talk with Natsu being a little bit more, on edge, because he didn't expect Yami to have all his power. Maybe he was suppressing his power. But now that Natsu knows the gap between his strength, and Yami's strength, he said he wants to better himself with that, right? So after that, after the talk that they had, he basically said that he's going to become a wizard. Asta said that he was going to become Wizard King, and that pretty much goes to canon with Yami asking Natsu, does he want to be Wizard King as well, since he's brothers with him, along with the Golden Dawn boy. And then that's when Natsu was like, they can have the title of Wizard King. My aspiration is to become stronger than a Wizard King. And then that's when Yami was like, you used magic, but I didn't see you use your grimoire for any of that magic on that scale. And then that's when Natsu pulled it out. He was like, I had to sneak in here somehow. And then that's when he used the grimoire to burn it. And he was like, that's the thing about me. I don't need a grimoire to use magic. That's when he was like, I was just born with this ability. So that's why I strive to become something greater and better than the Wizard King. He was like, a wizard that's not bound by their grimoire. He was like, I could be stronger than the Wizard King. Better yet, I'll be the strongest grimoires wizard that will ever exist in the history books. Everybody will remember my name, Natsu Dragneel. And then that's when Yami laughed, and he was like, you're both in the Black Bulls. And pretty much everything goes to canon with that, right? So that's when That's when everything goes to canon. They go their separate ways, and Natsu and Asta pulled up to the Black Bulls headquarters due to Yami's other person that had like spatial magic and open portals and stuff. So that's when he came. That's when they both came through the portal, right? And then that's when they was like, welcome to our headquarters. And as Asta opened the door, that's when a huge explosion went off. And then, everything pretty much goes to canon with that. And we're going to, you know what? Fuck it, we'll do it. We'll do a quick episode 3 then. So basically, we're going to, that pans up to the moon. And we're going to flash into the next day where Asta and Natsu get initiated into the Black Bulls, right? They get initiated to the Black Bulls, and they have to do a series of tests, right? They do a series of tests, and you already know which where this one ends up in with I think Mega or Mangin. I don't know how to say his name. You already know the dude with the bat. So we got Luck, we got the dude with the bat, the drunk, the mime, the girl that likes to eat. I really don't know the other ones, but y'all know who I'm talking about. That's the crazy thing. So that's pretty much who we got right now. All right. And so, he did all, Asta and, both did all these other stuff. And then the final test was to survive his attack that Mange did. So that's when Asta went first, and then that's when he passed by deflecting his attack right back at him. And then that's when it was Asta's turn. But Asta was trying to warn Mage that it's probably not a good idea to shoot probably not a good idea to shoot a fire-based attack towards not his brother Natsu. And then that's when Natsu was like, hey, Asta, let him figure it out. And he was like, and that's when Mange was like, oh, are you mocking me? You think that you're better than me? You think that you could be better? You think that you can survive my attack just because your brother did? Doesn't mean you're gonna be so lucky. And then that's when he made the fireball stronger. And then that's when he was like, take this, fireball, explosion. I think that's what he said, fireball, explosion, I guess. And then that's when he shot this huge fireball. Well, not huge, just like a compact fireball that was just like balled up and shooting towards Natsu. And then Natsu got into his position as he was like, bring it on. And then as it was coming towards him, right, that's when Natsu opened his mouth and his magic attack went. Natsu ate his magic attack, right? He ate his magic attack, and then that's when it swirled around as he was like, and then that's when his aura got brighter, and the flame started shooting up as his aura got brighter, as Natsu was like, now it's your turn. Now try dodging, or better yet, defending this against this attack. And then that's when Natsu was like, fire dragon, brilliant. He said, fire dragon, brilliant flame roar. And then that's when Natsu shot the attack back, as it was like a stream of orange slash a little bit of white flame, still hot, still flaming, and still very deadly. But that's when Yami got him out the way at the last second, and that's when the fire made this huge explosion, as everybody was like, wow, I was not expecting him to do all that. And then that's when that's pretty much how Natsu and Asta got into the Black Bulls. And this is where I'm gonna leave the what if off. That's pretty much how that episode went. I know I'm like combining episodes to make it like a little bit more bearable and a little bit more longer, so y'all got more to listen to. So for now, I'm gonna leave this episode here. They got accepted into the Black Bulls. They got initiated. They officially got their Black Bull logo thing. But for Asta wears his normally, but for Natsu, it's usually like a think of it as his normal fit, but the top has the Black Bulls logo on like his left chest piece right there. So that's where it's at. So that's where I'm going to be leaving this episode off right there. I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all showing this series so far. Next episode, we going to pick it up where it's Noelle, and they, pretty much how that episode went in canon. Noelle's magic gets out of control, but Natsu's going to be the one to save her and, tell her about her magic. But she's not hearing it, so she's going to look down on Asta and Natsu. And then, once we get further down, it's really going to be a game of who wants Natsu or who wants Asta, or which girl wants Natsu or which girl wants Asta, when they meet all these other wizards or magical witches, witch knights, I would call them, wizard kings, or you know what I'm trying to say, basically. So I appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all showing me. I'm thinking about picking up what if Deku was Sukuna's vessel, or better yet, what if Deku had Clive's abilities? I don't see I have seen it, but it's really weird. Or if y'all ever played Final Fantasy, I could do what if Ichigo had Noctis's abilities. All right, hear me out. Let me know what y'all think of that idea, all right? Because I might do it. I might do what if Ichigo had Noctis's abilities. Yes, sir. That means, and I'm talking about Final Fantasy 15-1 and Final Fantasy X versus 13. So, yes, we'll be using that type of Noctis. Or hear me out. I could just say, what if Noctis was in Bleach? What if Noctis was in My Hero Academia? Better yet, what if Deku had Noctis's ability? Or better yet, even greater, what if Shiro had Noctis's abilities? Oh my gosh. Shiro from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works? What? Come on, Archer versus the King, the 13 Royal Bloodline King. Who wouldn't want to see that shit? But I'm for real yapping, but definitely, I think I might do What If Ichigo. Like, I might step into What If Bleach, or do like What If Bleach series, or better yet, if y'all want me to do a JJK series, you know, what if Yuji had this, or what if Yuji had the Sharingan? What if Yuji had the Rinnegan? Or what if Yuji had, you know, a Final Fantasy character some powers like Noctis? That's like my favorite character from the Final Fantasy series, Noctis and Clive. So, you know, his domain expansion could be like the 13 Kings, the 13 King sacrifice, where you get hit by the spectral, you know, shit. That would be fucking fire. And yes, Yuji Noctis does know how to fight. He has hands and magic. So it would probably be a curse technique that he would probably have with that. Or some curse technique I'll probably give him. Or, you know, we could just do like, ooh. If y'all ever watched Kenshi, the Mightiest Disciple, better yet, how about this? What if Kenichi was in High School DxD? Nobody ever done that. So if y'all fucking with that idea, if y'all want me to revive the High School DxD series in general, that's the first one I'm gonna start with, for real. But, you know, I've been yapping long enough. I hope y'all stayed to hear all that yapping and all those extra cool ideas I had. But so far, this Black Clover series is probably by far my favorite one. And I think that's what I needed, for real. I think I really needed to do like a different series I really never watched to get the what ifs going back again. So definitely that. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let me know if y'all want me to do a revival of High School DxD, or, you know, maybe do Mori again, or pick up the Mori series, because everybody fuck with the Monkey King, you know. But I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Let's get to 200 by the end of this year, or past 200 by the end of this year. Like, we're almost like 4 away from 150. And if we get there, then we're halfway to 200. But I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. This might be an hour. I don't know if it's going to be an hour, but it might be an hour. So let me know what y'all think. What other series y'all want me to come off with? And until then, this is Redux What Ifs signing off.